Live from the Pines, episode 71. Today we welcome the 12U Lufkin Little League Majors. Coach Bud, Coach Luce, and Coach Henderson. How you guys doing today?
Doing great.
We're doing good, Jalen.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. We want to give a big special shout out to South First Street Bar and Grill, Jack Yates, and Smurl for having us, letting us record this show here. Also to Jeff Bunnan, Lufkin Gang Time, Jam Media, for providing us with the camera work. But Coach Bud, how's everything going? How's the team looking?
Well, we're doing lots of work, getting better hopefully every day, and ready to play another game tomorrow night.
Well, you get the first game out the way, get a victory 11-1. How's it feel to come off that hot win, first game in the tournament?
Well, that always feels good after a victory. Nothing like winning. We just got to get ready now to play the next game and not look ahead, but go the next game and win that one and then go the next one.
Well, many people don't know, Coach Bud, this is your 50th year coaching. What's it mean to you to get to achieve something like that and give back to all these kids in the Lufkin community and still have a couple kids with you helping you? Nick Mosley, Hunter Ditzworth, and, John Cobb for extending his arm and his knowledge out there helping, get these kids together.
I love it. I mean, I've been, like you say, been doing it for a long time, and every year I like it. It's good. All those people that come out like Ditzworth and Mosley that used to play come out. Coach Cobb comes out in the mornings and helps us, and we work. We come out to work, and that's what we do.
Well, I know me and Trey can attest to this. Since we were little, you ran a tight ship, and you've kept kids in line, and they play good baseball. But a lot of people might not agree with some of the coaching methods that you use, two-a-days and all those things. But you're building champions, and that's how you coach back in the day. And if you start them at a young age, and by the time they get our age, they'll know work ethic and everything else they need to know to life. Baseball doesn't go past high school.
That's the goal, is to come out and learn that work is what makes you successful in life. That it's not give to you, and if you think it is, well, you're not going to be successful. That's what we hope to achieve out there every day, and we work at it and hope that the players absorb it and get better and learn to work and not think that they just got it because they're out.
You've been doing it for a long time, but if you had to say, what is your favorite group? Exiting out the Stampede, because you coach those kids a lot and won a lot with the Stampede, but what is your favorite group since you got started?
I can't say that. It's been 50 years, 50 groups, and everything is different. I can't say that.
Well, what stands out about this team?
This team, they're a bunch of good folk, bunch of good athletes, good ball players, and they come out every morning, go to work. We just got to get to where we work harder.
Well, Nearen gets the ball game one, and he absolutely shook. He took care of business, and if you can command the strike zone and throw strikes, you got a long day on the mound for you. And with your conditioning program, these kids, they should for sure be able to go the limit.
Well, there's no question, like you said, throwing strikes, throwing first pitch strikes. That's the key to pitching. If a young man can't throw strikes, he's not going to be out. Or especially in Little League where you got a pitch count, you've got to throw strikes.
Yes, sir. Well, Coach Luce, you and Hall get the chance to coach y'all's boys doing this, and y'all got a chance to coach your kids for a long time, and it's a blessing to get them on the All-Star team, and especially when they're, excelling at it. I remember watching the game. Griffin had a big rip. I think it scored one or two. But what's it been like for you guys getting to coach your son, coach your son's friends, and getting to continue a chance at the road to Williamsport?
It's a blessing. I think all will agree that when we're out there, we're not supposed to be Griffin's dad. We're not supposed to be George's dad. We're supposed to be their ball coach and help Bud get on board with his program and building character, help them learn how to win in tight situations, get them in good shape. And if it's one of our two boys that help a lot, that's great. If not, then there's other ways they can help out. But I'm honored to help out, and I know this is their last run at it. And I've enjoyed every second of it so far. Hope it never ends.
Well,
yeah, I didn't realize my son was on the team. I'm just Coach Hall out there. But in all seriousness, all these boys that we have out there, we've been doing this. Bud's been with them for a long time. A big portion of this group's been part of that Stampede group since they were 7. And to have that connection with all those kids is pretty fun. But we've also had some kids that this is their first run with them. But when you start doing the things that you do together as a team and as a unit, then you all become family. And it's one thing. And if you treat any kid, whether it's the kid that goes onto the mound and maybe, throws a 2-hitter, or the kid that maybe struggles at the plate, you treat any of them differently, then you don't build the camaraderie and the teamwork that you've got to have to be successful for the long term. Because it was one kid Tuesday night, it'll be another kid tomorrow, and it'll go, hopefully it's another kid the following week and in a few months. And so, what's been fun is to watch us try to build this team, but really become a family. And Coach Chase and I get out there in the evenings and we run with them, and to be a part of it, because if their legs are going to burn, we want ours to burn too. And it's been fun to get to do that together with those guys.
Coach Bud, I know we talk a lot, and I talked to Chase earlier in the week, and one of the main questions I asked, who are the pitchers? And one thing he said, everybody pitches. Everybody's got to know how to pitch. And that's a big thing when you get to the 12-year-old level, because as many arms as you can have, that goes a long way. You get in these tournaments, you get late in the tournament, you're out of pitching, the next guy's up. And it's not just going to a position player. It's going to somebody that's been on the mound, that's confident, and you've worked with and can throw strikes.
Yeah, we got a lot of pitching on this thing. In fact, it might be deeper in pitching than most teams as far as number-wise. And we got several quality pitchers that can command, that throw strikes and throws good strikes and moves the ball in and out well. Pitching is so far, and what I'm expecting is to do good on the field. We just got to play behind him, score some runs, and we're going to be all right. Pitching's not something I'm really worried about right now.
Well, I know you've had a legacy of coaching catchers. You got to coach your grandson, Kyle Lovelace. Now you get the chance to coach your other grandson, Cooper Platt. What's that been like for you, getting the experience him behind the plate, having Kyle to call on and work with them, and knowing you have somebody back there that's a wall?
It's a challenge. To have that, it's work, and it's continued work, and it's going to have to continue. And he's got to get better. Every player has, and as long as they work, do what they're told, well, we're in good shape. But if they don't, well, then it becomes difficult. So we've got my great grandson. He's back there, and then Brody Bowman's also catching, and they're fighting it out.
Yeah, it's a duel.
Yes.
It makes it interesting.
Yeah.
Well, you talked earlier about, you said that, y'all went over bunt coverages and all those things today. How important is it to, make sure you go over the small tasks, the small things some people might overlook, because you might get bunted around, you got to know your coverage, you got to know where to be at and all those different things. And being 12 years old, that's something that's getting new, but you're going to see a lot of it.
Oh, you got to know where to be. But just because you know where to be don't mean you're going to be there. You got to get there, take care of the small things, and the big things take care of themselves. But you've got to take care of your position. Be there where you're supposed to be at all times. And that's as simple as it gets, but it's a little harder than you can talk.
Yeah. Well, we've talked about it, I think, in practice, that the small things become big things when you don't focus on the small things being important. And in moments when you're not ready and you're not ready to cover the bunt, when you're not ready to get a bunt down, when you're not ready to back up the pitcher on a throw from the catcher, those little things will become massive things when you don't execute them in those moments. And so I think Bud does a really good job that he pays attention to detail, and it's done, having Coach Dithworth and Coach Nick and Coach Cobb to be able to, those baseball minds that look at it and see it, and to have those kids and emphasize it, that in every moment, if it's 11 o'clock on Tuesday morning, or if it's 9:15 on Thursday night, that I know your legs may be tired, but you're not going to care when it's Tyler on the other side, or hopefully, Austin on the other side, or maybe Beaumont on their side. In that moment, if you're not there to make that small thing important, it'll become a really big thing, and everybody's going to know about it. People might not see you do the small things, but they'll know when you did.
Coach Bud, I got a question for you.
Okay.
I know it's summertime. Kids are going to be kids, but are we getting in the pool?
No, I'm sure they are, but they shouldn't be. They need to save their energy for practice.
I remember growing up, you preaching that. That pool will tire you out.
That's right. Well, another thing. Here's the big thing about the pool. You get a bunch of 12-year-olds together out in a swimming pool. They're going to be running around, playing grab ass. And sooner or later, one of them's going to fall down, hurt themselves. And there you are, you got a kid out. I saw it every year. I think they finally got rid of the pool in Williamsport. I'm not sure, but I think they did. And every year there would be some kid get hurt, break a toe, do something out there acting the fool around the swimming pool. And
We don't have time for that.
no, well, you ain't got, what can you do? You ain't got nobody there to help out. So the best thing to do is just stay away from that stuff.
You stay at that ballpark and get your rest at home. And
if we go to New Brunswick, stay away from the river.
yeah.
I can tell you in the next 30 minutes that
Stay away from the river.
there will be a handful of them. They won't be going to the pool. They will be going to the cold tub. Yes.
Going to where?
The cold tub. Doing an ice bath and cold plunges and
Well, that's fine.
trying to
as long as
recover.
they don't-
That's recovery. That's part of the game.
that's
part of it.
Swimming around and playing grab ass ain't going to cut it.
No, hell no. We don't want to play grab ass. We want to get serious, recover, and come back to practice and work hard.
And play baseball
That's right.
and win ball games.
That's what it's all about. The fun part of baseball is coming to practice, working your tail off to get better. And when you leave, come back the next day and show everybody what you accomplished the day before. Get better and better, then go to games and win. And that's having fun. Not the cakes and the water slides and all that mess, you know.
Winning the ball games.
Right, win. That's the main thing.
Coach Luce, Coach Henderson, what sticks out to you about this group? You know, what's their strong suits and everything? You know, I know they play good together. They've been playing together since they were 7 years old. But you know, watching the game Friday, you know, defense wasn't a question. You know, he took care of business on the mound. Defense backed him up. But at the plate, you know, that's gonna be really important.
Yeah, I think you've got a group of kids who've seen a system for a really long time that have had some success, that understand what it takes. They're not perfect by any means. They need to get better every single day. To Bud's point, every day we've got to start putting up more effort than we did the day before. I would say at times I think this group can become a bit robotic. They can be a little bit relaxed and fluid, just being fluid and let the game be played. But at the same time, and Bud may laugh at this, but I do think that they're a group that's come in and I think they do have some discipline. They understand what's expected of them. Whether they meet that expectation every day, that's hard. You know, I would tell you, as a group of coaches, we have to tell you, does it certainly stepping out of that realm and into dads? No, they never do as dads, right? But I do think they understand what is expected. They also understand what it takes. They've had some success. Now they haven't achieved the goals that they wanted to at the ultimate point. They've gone out and done some really good things and done some stuff their age that had not been accomplished. And so keep pushing for that goal and understanding what it takes, having the understanding what it is expected and what it takes to get there is a good start for accomplishing something.
Jalen, it may sound silly, but what I like most about this group is plain and simple, they like each other. And when you're trying to build a really good baseball team, that is very important. Because if you have a toxic locker room on a 12-year little league team, a bunch of kids that don't care about themselves and they're not close buddies and teammates, and you could have 12 really, really, really outstanding players, and I just don't know how far you can get if they don't mesh well together as a team and buy into the summer program like they have. But I think it's a huge part of it. Just plainly put.
There's no question about it. They got to come together and they got to love each other out on that field. And everyone of them pull for each other, work for each other, and they will become better teammates.
You know,
I think this group likes to compete. For instance, this is about a week ago. We were in live scrimmage, and it was Lawson that was on the mound, and coach said, "All right, that was your last hitter." And Bryson King was on deck. He said, "No, I want him."
Mm-hmm.
And Bryson King looked at him and said, "Oh no, you don't." He said, and the two of them went into about a 6 or 7 pitch at bat, and they were going at each other. If I recall, I don't mean to throw Lawson under the bus, but I'm pretty sure Bryson broke one out to left center, and on his way to second base, let him know.
I think he said Lawson go pick up that ball in center
Lawson
field.
said,
Yeah.
next time he wanted to make sure that Bryson was in the group hitting against him. So it's the group likes to compete. They ain't scared of nothing. I don't know that anybody gets real excited when they hear their name called out that they have to step in the box with gunners. This coach calls him big boy. Because I don't like to catch him, but that's just because he's a big old guy with a big strong arm who's really starting to figure it out. But they're not afraid to compete with one another, and they like to get out there. They like to get after it. And that's fun to watch. It's fun to witness when you see those kids sit there and say, "Hey, no, I want you right now." That's fun to go.
One thing I like about this group, and then we can move on to the next thing, is they tasted a little bit of success last year. Most of these kids played in the state championship last year in New Braunfels. They taste a little blood in the water. They have a salty taste still in their mouth. That was gut-wrenching to get that far and lose in the last game. So I think the last 12 months I've been looking forward to getting back to this day and take that next step. And I think they've improved as a group. The teams we'll be playing against, same thing. They'll have improved as a group. But I think having that experience playing in the big games the last couple of years in All-Stars is going to help.
I know, Trey, we can both say this. We do a lot to go back to 12U baseball. It was a fun time, and these kids, they get this opportunity to take advantage of it because it's a once-in-a-lifetime deal. You get 1 or 2 shots at a chance to go to Williamsport and, make it count. It's a big thing, and it means a lot to the community. They get behind them. We go out to that game Monday night. Was that Monday or Tuesday? Monday night, yeah, Monday night, and, nothing but purple out there. And those kids get to look back and see that and know that they have a community behind them, parents, friends, friends from school are there and everything. It means a lot to those kids. So the community as a whole needs to do, their job and get out there Thursday and support these kids.
Yeah, it's always, I still look back at those memories. We went to Tupelo. We were 10 years old. And so those are still some of my best friends to this day. I don't think Jalen was on that team, but
y'all were older than
me.
me.
You're down. But making those memories, as Paul said it, competing with friends, there's nothing better than that. And then if you can put it all together and have success and win, it creates lifelong success. Awesome. But I guess y'all want to dive in and talk about kind of each kid, what they're doing.
Yeah, I was gonna go through the lineup. You got Brody Bowman, catcher, pitcher, outfielder. The Canadian Stallion, Chala, Gilroy, outfielder, second base, Havert, first base, pitcher. And I come to realize from Monday that's not Jeff Havert's son.
No,
this kid's about 6'2", almost already. And I saw that, and I asked, I think it was Trey Luther, like that. He's like, no. I saw the size difference, but Havert does have a big boy too, so it all stood out right there. You got Henderson, shortstop, third base, pitcher, King, outfielder, pitcher, Luce, first base, second base, third base, catcher, pitcher, kind of does it all. We go down the near, and he shoved it on Monday. Shortstop, pitcher, Perry in the outfield, Platt behind the plate, Renfro, second base, outfielder, Digpen, third base, pitcher, Trotty, outfield, middle infielder, and pitcher.
How'd I do, bud? I gave him a rundown of those positions.
Sounds pretty good.
Sounds pretty good.
He can't play all of them at once, but
No.
they can move around. We got players that play multiple positions. There's no question about that. We're fine on position players. We just got to get out there, work better, get the right ones on the field. You don't know, you might be trying to do that the whole way. But,
what's your process when you get to the field, tomorrow? What are you looking at when you're putting kids in positions? Everybody pretty much plays everywhere, it seems like. But what are you looking at? Is it like the team we're facing, the speed, all those different things that come into play?
no, I don't know what this team we're playing. I had never seen them. I know their history. I know that. But last year, they all to his coach and said they was better than the West last year.
They were stronger than the West.
But what I'm looking for in practice is players that are going to go out there and win positions. be in the spots they're supposed to be in, taking care of business, not being lazy out there on the field, but reacting to situations and winning a position. That's all I ask for. I'm not going to, nobody's given a position when they come out there. They got to earn it. And I think that's the way it's supposed to be.
It sure is.
I mean, and that's the way that's the only way you get better. And then, like they're talking about, people that want to earn that position will compete for it and work harder and win the position. And that's what I've always done. I've never just give somebody something.
Is the white van still in action? Are we still using the white van?
It came out of play about last year. The last time I used it, it broke down on us. So
Hey, that van has built a lot of champions, and it's kept a lot of kids in act on game day getting in that van.
it went many of mine.
How long did you have that van for?
I bought that van in 2006, I believe it was, and used it up to 2017, 2018. And I taught the whole team wherever we was going, we'd go. And other than that, there'd be players.
It was a rule.
Yeah,
You had to ride that van.
yeah. But even during the week when we was working out, lots of times I drive to Wales and meet people come meet me there, bring their kids back to practice, or I'd go all over town picking kids up in that van to practice and taking them home. And I mean, I enjoyed the hell out of that van because those players loved it.
Hell yeah.
And that's where they really got to know each other a lot. And lots of them would go to my house and stay at my house until we went back to practice. Now the damn house would be a mess.
Well, Miss Judy didn't mind.
Not let them know it.
What was your dog's name? Stanley?
Stanley.
I remember Stanley. I remember him.
He rode many miles in that van. Too.
Oh yeah, he went everywhere with you.
Yeah.
You talk about
That was some good times.
talk about experiences for 11, 12-year-old kids. Not many little league coaches pick their boys up, take them to Whataburger before games. You know, you don't see that connection with their coach much anymore. So, you know, Bud has his ways that some kids may not can handle in the heat of the summer, but at the end of the day, it's tough love and instruction. But then I'll hug you after practice to tell you I'm proud of you. So, really doing a good job.
I wish I still had a van. I would still be doing that.
Well, I know two guys sit beside me, Chase Lewis and Hall Henderson. I'm sure they can make that happen. We can get you a van for the
You would
yeah,
think
all
they
the
could,
time you
yeah.
bring to get you a van.
I think that I'll agree with that.
Hall, can we make that happen? We find him a van.
We probably could make it happen, but I imagine these days they'd probably need me or Chase that had to drive it. And
What he's saying is I'm old.
Yeah, I think that's what he.
That's what he's saying.
I don't think it's that. I think that Bud kind of figured out that it's like you gonna do that. But you know what? We do it. We'd be happy to do it. In all seriousness, as Chase said earlier, it's an honor for us to get to do this. This is a lot of fun for us to get to be a part of the history of doing this. And some of the other guys that I grew up, there are coaches who have coached with Bud that coached me, that had an influence on me. There's guys that are my friends now. And so to be able to be it's just an honor for me to get to put my name as part of that group. That's pretty cool. Everybody knows I'm not a baseball guy.
Yeah, that's what you told us last year on the podcast.
Coach allowed me to teach the bunting station. And then I just kind of make sure I stay hydrated myself. And I say, hey, Coach, what we do here? But it's been like, it has been fun, though, to have been to at the basketball level, at the higher level, and seeing the way that coaches treat their players and what their expectations are and what they expect, what the requirements are for a player. I told the kids at our very first meeting with Bud, this is really, really good for them, to know what the kids have been with them a long time, to be somebody who wants to see all these kids have success, but then, again, putting that dad hat on, I want that for my kid too. And so if any other parent sits there and says, oh, well, this is really, really good for them. And guess what? They're going to put the big boy britches on next year. Middle school. Coach God is going to have expectations out there. He's out here doing this with them now, and the experience is really, really good.
But these kids they gotta grow up and they gotta start putting their pants on themselves at time and shoes themselves. And, we got some mamas that they're great moms, but they gotta let the kids turn from boys and young men, and the way they're doing this here is the right way. It's really, really good. And it's a privilege for me, but it's a privilege for all these kids to be a part of this, to grow and do this. So it's a cool deal.
Who because y'all have 13 kids on the roster,
13.
and I know Little League, everybody's got that right during the game. There's 13 at bats. That's an art form. Who's in charge of that? The dugout is one of y'all. I mean,
Well, everyone used to in Little League, you could bat mound. Everyone had to get an at bat. Your subs had to get an at bat. Your subs had to play an inning on the field. Now you have to take a minimum of 12. I think it's a maximum of 14. Is continuous batting line.
oh, okay.
Everyone has to do it. Yeah. So you might look up. It's a good pitcher out there. You might only get hit twice in a 6-inning game. So it's hard to get through your lineup.
But when you're sitting there making that lineup, how hard is it to put 13 kids in a lineup?
It is hard. Real hard. Little League is run. They have run competition in baseball.
Can't steal bases, can't lead off.
Well, you can steal.
You can't lead off.
Yeah. But when they went to 13 consecutive batters, they took away the competition to get in
The lineup, yeah.
I mean, it's not good. I don't like that. But there ain't nothing we can do about it, so we just go out there and do it the best we can. But it's hard. I mean, it is tough. But then you have to pass 13, and you have 3 substitutions. So you can just move them in and out anytime except for a pitcher.
Does every kid have to play on the field?
No,
Okay.
no.
But they have to bat.
They
13
have-
has to bat.
13 consecutive. 1 through 13 and 1
I get
through
you to pick it.
Oh, it's tough, but everybody has to do it. So you just figure out
It
what
evens
you
the playing field. So we got a big game Thursday. So we win this. The goal is we're going to win this game Thursday. If we win the tournament, we win this game Thursday.
We win this game Thursday. Not if. When we win this game
Yeah,
Thursday,
not if.
we'll play Monday for the champion.
And that Tyler West team will play the East team when they lose
Right.
Thursday.
To see who plays us.
Plays y'all again, but y'all can lose twice, right?
Right.
So it's double elimination. So, from what you've seen Monday carrying over to Thursday, what do you want to see them continue to do?
I want to see pitchers go out throw strikes. I want to see the kids better cuts at the plate. Want to make sure we're hitting early in the count. We're not swinging at bad pitches out of the zone. We're hitting no count pitches, looking middle and driving the ball there. We did a good job on our 2 strike counts the other night.
Y'all did do
We did a
good.
real good job.
Saw a lot of fastballs, those two count strikes.
They didn't strike out at one time. 2 strike approach. So that was real encouraging because we just put that in this year.
I saw a little bit of luck in high school baseball out there.
That's first time I saw that was high school was playing a team a couple of years ago. And they did it up and down the lineup. And then Coach Gall put it in here.
Yep.
He's been doing it 2 or 3 years. And I said this summer, that's what we're gonna do. That's gonna be our 2 strike. And it paid off. I mean, they're picking it up really good, and that's not something that's easy to do. So
It is.
that's really encouraging that they're picked up.
Yeah, it's not easy for a 12-year-old to make a change like that middle of the season.
No, it's not. But they've accepted it. They love it.
Yeah.
To tell you the truth, they really like it. And you could go into a game that got somebody out there that's really throwing hard, and you might have to do it. Everybody do it to start with the whole thing. So we'll see how that goes. But so far, that's gone good.
One thing I want to touch on before we go, big shout out to Lufkin City, the city of Lufkin, providing y'all with those new fields. And they looked amazing Monday night.
Oh, that's the nicest thing there is around this area. Within 100 miles for sure. that there's nothing that can compare with it that I've seen. I don't know.
No, I mean, no, I've been 100 miles. I mean,
College Station.
the only thing I compare to what we have is College Station, and we were talking to some of the city council members and to some of the people in the city that were working on this. College Station is a field that we recommended they take a look at. I think they've done a wonderful job. People enjoy coming, and when they really get the construction done, it's going to be great. I think you look out there too, and Hunter Hatton worked really hard and got Lufkin and Coca-Cola to contribute and be a part of those scoreboards. And right now, y'all can all remember before that, those were the same scoreboards that were keeping the score when we were playing.
When I was in T-ball.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They've done a really good job, and they have the coach looking great on Monday night. I know they'll continue to do that. And we've been very fortunate with that investment they've made and with some other efforts again. Shouting out to Hunter Haglund that we work with the Little League Tricks to be able to host for us to host sectionals, and we plan on playing in it. And for the past couple of summers, we've had to spend extended amounts of time in Bastrop and Brenham, and that takes a toll. It's expensive. We got people that take a lot of time off. Being able to stay home, stay in our own beds, play on the fields we're familiar with, keep our parents at work, and then keep the kids working and keeping our routine as much as we can with Bud and Coach Cobb and Disworth and Nick. And being able to do those things will be good for us too to make things consistent. But I thought you kind of gave me a segue on something. So Coach Bud was talking about something he'd seen in the high school game that he implemented it. So I had made a suggestion to Bud a few weeks ago. I saw that London this year, real successful baseball program, had co-head coaches. So I went to Bud and said, "Hey, Bud, London's got co-head coaches. What do you think about implementing this co-head coach? I mean, and Chase could be our assistant." And I got shot down. He didn't even say anything. I knew it was shot down. That's not how we
One
do
spot for a manager.
That's just one person.
You got to have enough Indians.
I thought it was a good suggestion. I thought I'd look good. I was going to get the long sleeve jersey, but he told me no. So I'll stay at first base and keep that right arm warm as I said in the second.
He might can do that slick ball, but
Yeah.
not when you're running the show.
No. Would never work.
Yeah, you laugh, but Bud makes the final call. He's a manager, but if Paul and I are just yes men, and nod our heads all day and agree with everything, are we really helping out? We've got to provide some input and what we think on the boys. We're coaches too. Like I said, he's going to have the final say, but I think he appreciates a little help along the way too. Makes his life
Like you say, a little help.
a little help.
Just make sure they got the boys there. You'll take care of the rest.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Yeah, get the boys to practice.
Well, Coach Lewis, Coach Bud, Coach Hall, we thank y'all for coming on live from the Pines and letting us do this. We enjoy getting to watch y'all's kids play. We've been a part of their lives. I think for a long time we've known y'all's kids, so it means a lot to us. But I want to give a big shout out to South First Street Bar and Grill. They have Dar wings today. Make sure you come by and try the wings. They're fantastic. Me and Trey have already ate. I'm sure the rest of these guys will be getting them some wings while we get back to work.
And we got to shout out to your other person. We got to shout out to Silver Belts.
Oh, we haven't got there yet.
Yeah. Talk to you about those. Big AB, what he's got us. He's taking care of the coaching stuff.
The purple and gold belt.
You heard about
Oh,
it?
yeah.
Well, I didn't
vanilla.
hear about it. I watched the game Monday, and y'all had those jerseys on. I said the purple and gold zipper belt would look great with those jerseys. But are you gonna wear that belt?
What's that?
He's wearing his purple belt right now.
You got
He's got my purple. I got on my silver belt. It's not my purple.
They got you a belt.
you got a new one coming.
I told him about it the other day. Yeah, he's
Belt.
gonna like it. But
I probably won't wear it.
I don't know.
When you're the manager, the assistants are wearing it. You can't wear it too.
What I'm so proud of, Thursday's games, we will be wearing solid white pants instead of the pinstripe because the pinstripe for the other boy is not here. So we got to wear solid white pants. I can't wait.
You like this?
Bud and I share a lot of common philosophy on some things and I believe in a lot, but I've always abided by the you look good, you feel good, you play good, they pay good.
That's not. That's
Bud
not.
and I have not figured that out. That's fair enough.
Hey,
Put the
I
sliding
do like
bits.
some Bud said the other night.
No sliding bits.
The other night, Bud said white pants and cotton shirt with his kick there. I'm not gonna say it.
hey,
I liked it though.
the way you feel good and look good is win.
I think you should implement some of Hall's takes. You know, he has some good takes. You know, he coached me in basketball, and he had a subpar team, and we ended up going to the championship almost.
So far, talent coach.
I've been buying off forever.
I've been known to schmooze one or two.
Whatever it takes to
Yeah.
win.
Just win.
Well, again, we thank you guys, and it's been great. We look forward to getting to do this again. Y'all keep winning. We'll keep doing this. And want to give a big shout out to Jeff Bonham behind the camera. He made this happen in probably a 10-hour span. It was one phone call, and we were done. We made it
You're
happen.
the MVP in all Lufkin sports.
Yeah, they do a great
They do
job.
an awesome job across the board. It's really good stuff for all the athletes in Lufkin. It's really, really great opportunity they provide for them and the fans. It's fun stuff. And man, the quality is
It's amazing.
really, really great stuff.
It's almost like watching college sports, you know. But before we go, I want to give a big shout out to our guys at Silker Belts. Austin Brown and the guys use discount code PINES936 for all online orders, 25% off all the belts. Apparently, the coaching staff's getting a new belt. They do have a belt out there that's purple and gold. Use the PINES936 discount and go get it. Come out Thursday and support these kids. The plan is we'll be playing Thursday, and we'll be waiting on Monday for the championship game to go win it all and bring it back to Lufkin because we get to host again. And it's back to work. None of this stops. 2-a-days, all that will continue.
Right.
No matter how. Are we going to do 2-a-days if we make it to Williams Sport? Will we find a way to do that?
We do 2 days a week.
You've already been there before, so it's nothing new to you.
Oh.
So you make it happen.
If you get that far, those 2-a-days, they don't seem very hard anymore.
Nope.
But here's the thing. We can't worry about Williams Sport yet. We got to worry about the next
You
game.
got to worry about the next one. Also wanted to tell you, one of our sponsors for this podcast, you coach, he actually went to Williamsport with you, Malcolm Jr.
Oh, yeah.
He has a clothing brand, Really Having. He's Really Having on reallyhaving.com for 25% off all online orders. He has hoodies, shirts, shorts. He has it all. Go give him a shout out.
Hey, but I'm going to embarrass George real quick. I got a video of George in his probably his Paw Patrol underwear holding one of the orange signs in front of the flag, in front of the TV. Go little mountain, go little mountain. So we get that far, maybe we have to pull that out, or maybe I can send that to you.
Yeah, we'll put it on live for the
Oh,
pod.
I'm not afraid to embarrass you. Shout out to Malcolm. He's a kid that has always been a great kid and doing good things. I'm very proud of him and what he's accomplishing. And I hope we'll see him out in our field.
Yeah.
Come see these boys because a lot of these boys
Watch him play. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I want to ask you a quick question. You've been to Williamsport. You coached the team there. What did it take to get those kids there? They just buy in?
Hard work. They bought in real well. And that's what it takes. Hard work, mentally ready and mentally prepared. And I mean, it didn't just happen overnight. It took a while. But as the further we went, the more they bought. And it was unreal. It really was.
That's great.
That's what it takes to win. And it's got to be done. And if it's not, but it's just not the players. All the parents have to buy in. They have to encourage the kids to go out, work hard, and get better. Go out in the mornings and get there and be happy to be there. Proud that you're there and go to work. And not talking negative, going to the park and going back home. Be ready to compete when you get there. And it's strictly got to buy into the program. And it's good when that happens.
Well, thank you, Coach Bud, and we appreciate you guys taking the time out of y'all's day to come on here. If you can do us a favor, follow us on all socials, Instagram, Twitter, X, whatever it's called, YouTube, TikTok, Spotify. We're on all socials. Go give us a like, follow, subscribe. Also, Jeff Bond and Lufkin Game Time, Jam Media. Go give him a follow. Go support him and all the things he does for Lufkin ISD. We thank you guys for watching. Thank you.